weeks ago, I did a video on how Citra no longer being developed is actually a huge blow to the emulation community. But since then, 2 new forks have appeared, and honestly, these forks look very promising. Before I get into that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I am so close. So definitely hit that subscribe button as well as share the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about these 2 new forks that have been developed. Now, before I get started, one thing I do want to mention is I am using a brand new camera setup and a new microphone setup. So I apologize for any inconvenience if my audio doesn't sound normal and also the video doesn't sound normal. This is basically brand new. I'm trying to get a better production style going on. So appreciate your patience and hopefully this video turns out great. I do want to mention one thing. In my last video when I talked about Citra and how I felt Citra being a huge blow actually was a big deal, a lot of people went to say like, no, Citra's already perfect, you can play a lot of games on there, which is fairly true, but there are a lot of inconsistencies with that Citra build. And I will explain that later on in the video, so definitely keep an eye out for what I'm going to talk about right now. So let's go ahead and talk about that first fork, and that is Lime 3DS. Lime 3DS actually so far is very, very good, and it's been worked on for quite some time. The Lime 3DS team has really put in a lot of effort, and one thing I really like about it is it's constantly being developed. People are actually talking there. If you have an issue, you can go to their GitHub page and definitely write down those issues, and they're quick to respond and get things fixed. For example, there was an issue recently with a Lime 3DS build not opening on the Steam Deck. Basically, if you had the app image and you try to go ahead and boot it up, well, nothing happened. It actually just didn't open up at all. But they did have a flat pack that was compatible. All you had to do was go ahead and install the flat pack version, and basically it worked. A week later though, they were quick to patch that and get that working with a new build, and now it works perfectly. Lime 3DS also fixed a lot of issues that the original, or rather the last Citra build had, such as Super Smash Bros. 3DS. There was an issue where in certain levels, such as the Find Me level or the Gar Plains level from Xenoblade Chronicles, Smash 3DS would just run out around like 45 FPS, and it was kind of annoying. There was that slowdown. There was quite a few other levels, I can't remember all of them, but there was a few levels that this issue was happening. Lime 3DS was quick to fix that issue, and now you can play Smash Bros. 3DS with no problem. It works full 60 FPS across every level, and I have yet to see an issue so far. That's something, and that's a reason why we still need development of a 3DS simulator, because Citra, at least the last build of Citra, wasn't perfect, and I'm glad to see that they're continuously working on it as well as adding new features to it. There were some other issues such as Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. There was issues such as slowdowns. When it was trying to go ahead and do shader compilation, you would get these quick slowdowns that would happen between battles. Honestly, since I've tried it, I don't see as many as those stuttering issues that the last build of Citra had, which is actually great. It makes Pokemon Alpha Sapphire a lot more fun to play. You don't have to deal with those stuttering issues at all. Now for Steam Deck users, you might be asking yourself, how can I play Lime 3DS on Steam Deck using EmuDeck? As everybody knows, EmuDeck is a really awesome way to go ahead and get all your emulators configured. Very easy, very simple to use. But because Citra is no longer supported, it doesn't auto-configure Citra at all. In the case of this, we're talking about Lime 3DS, but it's actually very easy to set up. First thing you're going to want to do is go ahead to their GitHub page and download the Lime 3DS app image. From there, you're going to get the file that's titled Lime 3DS Qt. You're going to go ahead and put that in the applications folder. From there, you're going to actually want to go ahead and rename that file to Citra Qt. Once you rename that file, it will go ahead and open up as normal. You are going to want to do one more thing though. You're going to want to go ahead and go into the EmuDeck settings, go to the Citra and click on Reset Configuration. This will reconfigure all the settings to the last Citra build settings and basically make it work perfectly. Honestly, once you do all of that, you can go ahead into gaming mode and boot up a ROM and it will work perfectly fine. I have yet to experience any issues. Now I will mention this, if you are using the radio menu, which allows you to go ahead and do different hotkey functions, not all of the radio menus will go ahead and like line up, or not all of the hotkeys will line up with what they have there. For example, the stop emulation key will have to be changed to be the X button, which is very simple. You just go ahead and open up Lime 3DS, go to your hotkeys, and just change stop emulation to the X key. Once that's done, when you go ahead to use the radio menu, it just pretty much works. It will stop the emulation. They might be asking, why should I go ahead and stop emulation rather than quit the game? There is a known issue or a known bug that if you actually quit the emulator without stopping emulation, you could get some shader compilation issues and it will cause the game not to boot up. Again, I had this actual issue and it does kind of suck. I had the issue with Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and for the longest time I couldn't figure out why Pokemon Alpha Sapphire wouldn't boot up. And that was the reason, because what I would do is go ahead and just exit the game using the Steam menu rather than stopping emulation, and that just caused a lot of issues from there. I had to go ahead and find where the shaders actually stored in the Steam Deck, delete that folder, and go ahead and restart all over again. But for the most part, as long as you stop emulation, you shouldn't have that issue. Now let's go ahead and talk about that second fork. And that second fork is actually called Citra. Yeah, it's called Citra. There is no other name for it. But this fork is made by Pablo MK7, who you might know as basically the creator of CTGP7, which is a Mario Kart mod that actually puts custom mods to Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. It actually is pretty awesome, all the stuff that he's done with Mario Kart 7. He's actually had maps, for example, from the Switch version on Mario Kart 7 on 3DS, and it's pretty cool. So he's actually pretty much made a fork of Citra, and there's a lot of cool things going with this fork. Like Lime 3DS, he's actually very active. Him and his team, rather, are actually very active with this Citra fork called Citra. Constantly, they're always updating it. They're very quick to actually come and turn around with an issue I had. One of the issues was, of course, something to do with Super Smash Bros. 3DS. For whatever reason, on macOS, when you booted it up and went full screen, it actually just went and just closed down. That same issue was actually happening for Linux users as well. They were quick to respond, give me a different build that actually has that issue fixed, and let me know that there is an update on a newer build that fixed that issue. Sure enough, about a week later, that issue was fixed, which is really awesome. Since then, I've had no issue with Smash 3DS. The other thing I had, of course, was that 45 FPS issue on the Steam Deck. Once again, about a week later, maybe about 2 weeks later, they did fix that issue, and I was not getting those stuttering issues anymore. They're very quick, very vocal, and always available on their GitHub page to answer questions, which is very nice. They are constantly going ahead and updating it, which is neat. And I feel like this fork is not getting that much attention, and I do highly recommend giving it attention. Again, since Pablo MK7 is working on it, there's also some extra features that he's building with this fork, such as adding something called Arctic Base. Arctic Base basically allows you to go ahead and stream from your 3DS to that Citra fork. And as of right now, it's only for that Citra fork, but I'm pretty sure it will work on any Citra fork, such as Lime 3DS in the future, if it doesn't already. I haven't tested it out with Lime 3DS yet, but if it does work, it's pretty cool. And basically, like I said, it does allow you to go ahead and stream your 3DS to there. Now, as to why you would want to do that, I don't know. For me personally, I don't really see a benefit outside of having the same save file on your 3DS playable on your PC, Mac, or Linux device, whatever the case might be. But other than that, I don't really know. So if you do know why you would use that, then definitely leave that in the comment section below. Now, both Lime 3DS and Citra are both trying to go ahead and get Pretendo to work all over again. As of right now, you can't set it up, and it might be a hit or miss on some of it, but they are constantly working to get everything up and running all over again. They're setting up servers so everything can be basically just how it used to be with the last build of Citra. And honestly, I'm very excited for these forks. I'm glad that they're building on what Citra already had, such as Vulcan, which was the last big update that they had, where they introduced Vulcan, which was around the beginning of the year, I want to say, and it greatly improved performance. They continue to go ahead and improve performance, such as those issues I mentioned with Smash Bros. 3DS and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. It's great to see that these forks are continuously being developed, and I can't wait to see what they come out with next. I'm really interested to see what Pablo MK7 does because he has been adding a bunch of features and he has been in the 3DS homebrew scene for quite some time. So I'm very interested to see what other things he comes up with. Now when it comes to Pablo MK7's fork of Citra, it is also very easy to go ahead and add it on your Steam Deck and use it with EmuDeck. Because that file name is Citra Qt, all you have to do is go to his GitHub, go ahead and download the Citra Qt app image, put the app image into the applications folder, and from there, boot up EmuDeck, go to Citra, reset configurations, and then it just works. Very, very simple, no renaming needed to be done or anything like that. Now, if you're trying to ask me what fork is the best, honestly, I don't have an answer for that. Both forks actually are amazing. They both work perfectly fine. I have yet to have any issue with both of those forks. Again, they both quickly update their forks. Their community is pretty much live and always giving out tips and tricks or helping out with issues. They're on there. Again, if you go to their GitHub page, you can easily go ahead and write down an issue you might have, and they're usually quick to respond or get it fixed. But before you go ahead and write down your issue, make sure you do search on those issues, because I guarantee you a lot of the issues you might have, there's already a fix. So definitely go ahead and search, whether it's through GitHub or their Discord servers. Because I know one of the most annoying thing is when a question has been there and has already been answered, and then somebody else asks that same question that has just been answered. The search function is very easy. All you have to do is look for that little magnifying glass icon, which is pretty much across every application out there. Search for the question you have, and more than likely there's an answer. Now, of course, if you don't see an answer or you don't see that issue, then definitely go ahead and write it in their GitHub page or on their Discord servers so they can go ahead and see those issues. But like I mentioned, there's no clear winner in terms of which is a better fork. I'm just happy that both of them are continuously going to go ahead and develop and make what used to be Citra a lot better. As for Pablo MK7's fork, I don't know if he's going to continuously name that Citra, but hey, as of right now it's called Citra, which just makes it easy to use as of right now. But let me know what you think about these two forks. Are you excited that Citra is continuously to be developed on, or do you not care? Which one do you prefer? Honestly, like I said, both forks are great. I'm very happy for them. And I'm glad that we're going to continuously get better and better 3DS emulation. Definitely keep an eye out both of these forks. I will have the links for both forks in the description below, so you can easily test them both out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I am planning on doing an actual 3DS video. I've noticed that I've talked about the 3DS a few times already, but I've never made a video on the 3DS. So I am going to go ahead and make a video on that, because I still think the best way to play 3DS games is on a 3DS. And we will go ahead and talk about that very, very soon. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me over at Twitch. I do stream simultaneously between both, and we're always trying to hit, not always, but we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So definitely subscribing and share the channel does help out a lot. My name is James. I'll catch you guys next time.